Look at this little place I'm in here. What a nice little place it'd be to live, this, right on the coast. Nice to see that there's little untouched beach villages like this still knocking around in the UK. I don't even feel like I'm in Britain anymore. It's absolutely glorious today. It's cracking the flags. And just look at this. What a stunning place. I saw this little precipice here and I thought it looked like a good spot to be fishing off, but I can see that it's so shallow going out there and it's just going to be no good. I'm going to have a mooch around here because it's absolutely lovely, but I think I'm going to have to go further up to the top point of Llandudno. But this is actually really close. It's only about probably an hour and a half from Manchester, so I wanted to have a look here first, but now I've come down here, obviously travelling really light. I've got my net. This is a 4-metre net and I've got 2 rods with me. I've got a heavier setup for casting lures and I've got a lighter setup for jigging soft plastics off the rocks, which obviously I'll talk you through as I'm doing it if I manage to find somewhere to fish. If not, I've just come for a sort of like a bit of like an exploratory day today. Quite early morning still. It's probably about 9 o'clock, but it's going to be a stunner of a day. Can't wait to get cracking. Hopefully manage to find somewhere to fish today. Really excited. First time fishing off the coast in the UK properly anyway. I had a mess about I think as a kid, but it's definitely time that I got out and tried it. So really excited. Just need to find somewhere. As you'll know, folks, if you're following the channel, I have not got a clue when it comes to sea fishing and tides and stuff like that. I'm just playing it by ear. I'm just out exploring, having fun. But I've got a feeling that I might have to wait until lower tide, because I don't know whether you can see this or make it out on the GoPro, but the coastline here, you've got a really steep drop off from the cliffs, but then you've got probably another 10 meters and then I think it drops off even further. So I don't know whether I need the tide to go out a little bit further and I'd be able to fish off this point here. I don't know. I've got some casting lures. I've got some like sand eel imitation lures in soft plastic and hard baits, and I've also got some weedless jig heads and some bigger worms and stuff like that to try. Definitely kitted out, just finding the right spot. But even if I don't, you're joining me on the journey. Look at this. This is definitely something a little bit different for the channel, like walking with Westy. That looks super cool. It's like a little cove on top of like a flat hilltop. Let's go and explore that. If you can't hear me or it's noisy on the camera, I'm sorry. But yeah, there's loads of man-made structure here, so I'm guessing this was like maybe like a military point at some point in time. Oyster catchers. There's definitely a pair of stone chats here. There's a male and a female. The male just took off over there in that direction. I'm hoping I got a couple of shots of it on the camera. But yeah, male and a female pair. It's nice to see. Definitely the right terrain for them. Coastline. Let's keep going. Well, I've actually found the first promising fishing spot, but it's seal pupping season and there is seals down there. I'll see if I can zoom in and get a better picture of them, but there's 3 down there that I can see. You can see their heads poking out. But yeah, I'll see if I can zoom in for you. So you're not allowed down there at the minute, so we won't disturb them. I'll stay up here and we'll find another spot further down the coast. Like I said, I just saw this from the road and I wanted to come and have an explore, so this wasn't my actual ideal fishing spot. We need somewhere further towards the end of the Llandudno point, really, I think, for wrasse and stuff. Be a struggle getting down there anyway. Very, very steep. There is a path going down, but yeah, there's a couple of seals down there enjoying the sun. I thought I'd show you the tackle that I brought with me today while we've got this nice little scenic view in the background. So I've got myself a new net, and I actually got this for river fishing on high banks, but I brought it with me today because I didn't know how high the rocky shore would be. So it's a Westin 4-metre net, but obviously it collapses down really small. and it's ideal for sort of like portable roving. So it's just got a clip here that pulls down and locks into position. But yeah, 4 meters, it's absolutely massive, and that can either be used in the 4 meters, or it's got a little bung there that fits it together. You can either use that in a 4 meter configuration or this 2 meter configuration. Now that ain't cheap, that was well over 100 quid, so that's probably one of the most expensive fishing purchases I've made recently. I've brought 2 rods with me. I brought a lighter setup, which is just a cheap Advanta, I think it's a 10 to 30 gram jigging rod, 7 foot, yeah, 10 to 30 gram 4-piece little travel rod. And I've got heavier setup, which is a Fox Rage Prism, and this will cast much heavier lures. So I've got some lures up to about 30 gram or more. Obviously you can cast a lot further with something like that, so I've got that. In terms of reels, I've got one with a lighter setup, I've got one with 20-pound braid, and I've got one with, I think this is 45-pound braid, and that's just loaded onto a Penn Fierce sea fishing reel. And I've got some fluorocarbon leaders attached to those, ready to go. So I just thread the rods up and we can get fishing. Obviously one on the jigging setup, one on the spinning setup. This has got 30-pound fluorocarbon leader, and this has got 20-pound fluorocarbon leader, because when you're fishing for wrasse, what they do is they'll bolt into the rocks, so you need to hit and hold them, get them up out the rocks as quick as possible, so you need heavy gear. So that's a little setup for today. And whether we actually get to any fishing spots or not, at least you know how I was going to approach it. But I'm sure we'll find somewhere to at least wet a line today. I'm hoping so anyway. So quick snack and a drink, and then my plan is to head up the toll road in Llandudno and travel all the way around the edge here, hoping that you can park in places along the way, and I'll see if I can find some good rocky fishing spots up the coastline. So that's my plan anyway. I'm on the Marine Drive toll road, £5.80. Let's see where it takes us, but it looks absolutely stunning. There's the pier. Really busy today down there. That there, folks, looks like prime fishing spots to me. Right off the end there. I reckon try and find somewhere to park and then maybe get down the bottom there. I would say that you want to be fishing off stuff like this, but it does look very shallow straight out from there, so I'm not sure. I haven't got a clue, folks, but I tell you what, I'm enjoying the view. Look at this. Absolutely stunning. That view in itself is worth the £5.80. Saying that, it should be free. We should be able to enjoy these beautiful views free, shouldn't we? Shouldn't have to pay a toll to drive round our country. But look at that. Definitely not getting down there. I don't think it looks like the right terrain anyway, to be honest, folks. It's too shallow going out. You need to be fishing off rocks into deep water, really. Slight hiccup and problem, folks. You can't get down to the sea. And I don't think my 4-metre net can quite reach this far down. There must be some fishing points off the coast of Llandudno. There must be. Some accessible ones anyway. I don't know whether you're going to be able to hear a word I'm saying because it's blowing a gale up here, but I'm currently stood on the Great Orme, and that in the background over there is Anglesey. And I can even see from here there's absolutely superb fishing spots on the coast down that way. But Anglesey is probably another hour drive from here, maybe a bit further. But there's some actual fishing marks on Anglesey that I can actually drive to and fish off. But I wanted to come to Llandudno first because it looked like a perfect shoreline for fishing. But I think the problem is you can't get down to most of it. It's just almost impossible, and the places that you can get down to, it's too shallow going out. Let's go a bit further down these rocks and have a look off the edge here if we can. But a lot of this is protected nature sites, so you can't go down a certain distance anyway because of nesting birds or seal pups and stuff like that. So it's not like you could even go down and fish down there if you wanted to, unfortunately. I think it looks like I'm going to have to go around the toll all the way down the other side and maybe go and find some fishing spots off the coast of Anglesey, which is a little bit flatter and a little bit better known for its fishing spots as well. So I think that's what we're going to do. I think we're going to either carry on round. If I see anywhere where I can get down and have a few casts, I'll do that. If I can't, we're going to Anglesey, folks. And we'll extend this video a bit further, exploring the UK with Westy. New part of the channel. I'm definitely not a huge fan of heights. That is a long way down there, folks. But if you could get down there, that'd be a cracking fishing spot. Really deep, really rocky. Absolutely perfect for wrasse down there. Look at that view there. That is actually the estuary of the Avon Conway. I hope I'm saying that right. But yeah, that's the mouth of the river. I've just finished up with the Llandudno toll drive, and it's brought me down the bottom near the estuary. So it's about 12 o'clock now, and I really wanted to be at a fishing spot for well before this time. However, the tide will start coming in soon, I think. That's really the ideal time to be fishing, I think. When that tide starts coming in, it will bring some of the fish in with it, I believe. There's a couple of known fishing spots in Anglesey. Obviously, I want some on this side of Anglesey rather than the other side of Anglesey, because that's even further. So the closest point is probably Bull Bay, and that's another hour and 10 minutes drive. I've already been driving for probably about 2 hours. So it's going to be a lot of driving involved today, especially driving back to Manchester later. But I think because I'm halfway now, I might as well carry on. We've done a bit of exploring, we've had a bit of fun, we've seen some views. Let's go and see if we can catch some fish. So I need to find somewhere where it's accessible, that I can get down to the sea, where it's rocky, there's a bit of kelp, and hopefully I'll be able to target some wrasse on the soft plastics. That's the idea anyway. So I'm going to Google some directions to Bull Bay. Put that in, and we'll head down there. I've got about a 55-minute drive ahead of me. Low tide was at about 12 o'clock, so from here on out the tide is going to be coming in until about 5 p.m. so by the time I've got there, it should be good timing. Done some bloody driving today. So we're officially in Anglesey, and I've got another 29 minutes to drive. I've just stopped off at this spa, got a couple of sugar-free energy drinks because I'm half asleep. It's been a very, very early start today. I was up at about 5:30 and out the house for about 6:30, and I've just been on the road. But yeah, so another half an hour, and hopefully I can find some fishing spots. If I can't, wow. It's not been a wasted day, but I'm going to be a bit gutted that I've not been able to find anywhere to wet a line. I'm just going to film this little bit of an update in the car because it's blowing an absolute gale out there and you just won't be able to hear a word I'm saying. But finally, after about 3.5 hours of driving today, I've reached Bull Bay, and it looks absolutely perfect wrasse habitat. Let me show you. There's a right chop on the sea, but as you can see, there's rocky outcrops that you can get down to all the way down the coast there, and it just looks absolutely perfect for wrasse. So hopefully it's not too treacherous down there, and there'll be a few places along this beautiful coastline that we'll be able to target some fish. Now that I've got down here, folks, it looks a bit treacherous today to be on them rocks. All these places where you can actually get down and fish are owned by the houses to the left of me. Oh, here we go. Now we're getting somewhere. I mean, it's a bit choppy, but what have we got? I've had to take the WestysAngling lucky cap off because it's going to get blown off my head, but this looks like an okay place to set up shop, I think. I'm just going to have another look on the opposite side of this little bit of a mound here. But I think I'm going to struggle to fish with jig heads, which is what I was going to do. I think there's just too much chop on, there's too much swell today. Looks really rough. Got some long pliers with me as well. Not sure I'm going to need them, but don't know what to try first. Maybe like a small imitation lure first. Maybe something like that, 15 gram sand eel imitation. You slipped on these, folks. Be game over for your shins. Let's see what's down here, if anything's in this gully. Might be too light this way. Well, I'm going to have a go with this blue sand eel imitation lure in 15 gram. I personally think there's probably a bit too much swell on, it's a bit too choppy, but I think maybe this blue, slightly more visible lure will help us out, but could be talking utter rubbish. I just want to take a minute to say, folks, you should always wear a personal flotation device when you're coastal fishing like this. There's literally no fish in the world that's worth your life, and I'm being a bit stupid here, and I'll definitely be taking one the next time I'm out fishing on the rocks like this, because it just wasn't safe. So I've had half an hour to an hour on the cast and retrieve heavy setup for the spinning lures out there. So what I think I'm going to do now is try the Texas rig fished a bit slower in all these crevices. Then what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to move, find another spot. But this is my Texas rig for wrasse. It's basically a fluoro bead because I think there's quite a bit of disturbance on the bottom today. I think this swell's probably stirring it up and the visibility will be low. Then I've got a tungsten bullet weight, and this is just like a scaled up perch Texas rig. Obviously you've seen me do it on the channel before. That's a size 1 hook, and I've just got these soft worms which are half melting in the sun. So I've got those gold worms, and I've also got these red corum snapper firefly crayfish imitations, which I'm sure will do great in the sea. I don't know how they perform in salt water, but can have a go. I think they're probably going to be better to start with because they're nice and bright. Apparently wrasse don't really take for feeding purposes, they take them as an aggressive response. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Let's hook this absolute beast on. Look at that. Don't know what we're catching with this, folks, but it's going to be big. Ow, sharp though. Right. Let's do it, see how it casts. Not very far. The XL sand eel. Look, dolphin. Dolphin, porpoise, not sure. Oh wow. I just want to say, folks, if you have enjoyed this video, please take a couple of seconds to hit that subscribe button and drop a like on the video as well. I tried so many different spots. I tried so many different lures and techniques on the day to try and get you a fish. I cycled through soft plastics. I tried Texas rigs, beefed up Texas rigs for the wrasse. I tried hard baits, I tried swim baits, I tried probably about 4 or 5 different spots like this one here between these two rocky shelves, which look really good, but it was just really tough fishing on the day. Did have a bite and just been done. I don't even know what that was. Big hammering thumps and then absolutely just gone straight through the line. And before people say it in the comments, yes, I know I probably would have had a better chance if I was using baits rather than lures, but I wanted to try and catch one on a lure. Another time, I'll do it. You know me, folks. Once I'm determined with something, I'll get it done. Just a matter of time. Well, I tell you what, folks, I might not have caught any fish today, but I've seen some pretty cool stuff. So we've seen seal pups and we've seen that porpoise slash dolphin. I'm not sure what it was, I'll have to look it up when I get back, but how amazing. But I think the sea's just too rough for me to fish in today, unfortunately. But you've got to go and have a look, you've got to check it out, you've got to have a go. And I've had an absolutely cracking day. So I just want to say thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next Westies Angling. It's been great to drag you along with me on this little adventure today, and there'll be more stuff like this coming in the near future. See you later, folks.